So, life routines. It's important during this stressful time in work that you minimize the stress that happens when you come home. Okay? And the way of doing that has been shown to develop routines and things that you can always fall back on that you know will just happen when you get home to reduce that. Oh my goodness, what are we having for dinner tonight? What are we doing about getting the house clean? What are we doing about blah, 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 blah? More noise going on in your head when already there's probably alerts, alarm bells ringing all day, every day. So we need a way of just getting you out of that habit of being in fight or flight and being able to trust in some routines that are going to go on at home. First thing you can do, and I think this is one of the biggest things you can do, is to avoid all the fake news and noise that's going on at the minute. I'm kind of a victim of this as well. You find yourself when you sit down bored, you reach straight for your phone, open Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and start to stroll through all the news stories about the catastrophes that are going on due to the times at the moment, the virus at the minute. A lot of the time, the media are looking for sensationalization. They're looking for headlines that are going to make you go, oh, what's that news story, and read it. What that does is clutter your head up with even more ifs, buts, what ifs that really do you need. Bear in mind, the profession that you're in, you are going to know news as and when you need to know it. So why do you need to clutter yourself up with all the other gossip and scandal that's going on in the world? Okay, so remember, the other thing to remember as well is the flip side of that. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you then start to scroll and read all these people that are in isolation at the minute, enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the parties that they're creating in the house for the unique parties they're doing, the DJing in the booth with the family and all that, and thinking, oh, do you know what, I'm slogging my guts out, just look at them having a great time and I'm finding this really hard here. Tell yourself, and have that second to tell yourself, people only show their best sides on social media. Everyone at some point is suffering the way you are. This is tough time, and people are dealing with it in their own ways. But constantly filling yourself and having that fear of missing out, the FOMO, that is actually a thing. You don't necessarily need too much of that in your life. Now, I'm not saying don't keep in contact with people on social media. It's a great thing to do, and it's also something we need to be doing. All I'm saying is the endless hours of scrolling and looking on other people's lives, we don't need right now. Stick to your bed routines. The video before on sleep will kind of take you through that. But that's so important, and I can't hammer that message home hard enough. Sleep is going to be something that if you get it right will help you so much. If you get it wrong, it's going to have such a negative impact on you, physically and mentally. Stick to your food routines. Again, in the nutrition video, think about building those strategies in. Reduce that anxiety over the shopping, reduce the anxiety over choosing what to eat, whether you're eating right, reaching for those snacks and then feeling bad because all you've done is eat junk this week. Stick to your patterns and your routines. Building some form of exercise every day. Now, obviously I'm a big advocate of doing something like HIIT type, that style of training, which there are reams and reams and reams on YouTube or out there at the minute on the internet. Ideal. Stick to 20 minutes. If you've had a really stressful, hard day at work, the last thing I want you doing is coming home and drilling yourselves into the floor. Like I've said in several other videos, your body can't tell between mental stress and physical stress, and it kind of comes out of your body in the same way. So if you've had a really stressful day in work, to come home and batter yourself physically is going to send your body downhill, send your immune system downhill. When we need it, skyrocketing high. Okay, so yes, the exercise is so important, which is why I'm going to move on to the other part about if that's just a walk, perfect. Aim to get your 10,000 steps in every day, but the walk will also, or the jog or a run, will also give you a chance to just escape a little bit from everybody. If you like putting music in and listening to music when you do it, great. If you just like to get outside and hear the birds singing and all that, get outside, clear your head, have a little bit of time for yourself to just take a breath from the real world. Also, one little thing that has been proven, and I'm a strong believer in this, is setting your alarm or aiming to get up slightly earlier than you actually need to. Okay? And removing or trying to reduce reaching right over, grabbing the phone and looking at what the world's doing. Just having that those few moments, those maybe 10-15 minutes in the morning to get up, have a coffee, sit down with your notepad from the night before, revert back to the sleep video if you don't know what I mean, read through your notes and plan for the day. It's also quite good at this point, like I have said in other videos, to record then what you plan to do for the day, what you are grateful for that day, just to keep those positive messages going so that you're ready to attack your day. The next point, which leads me to why I'm sat in here with an alien over my shoulder. Building some ways to keep in touch with people at this time, particularly while we all can't go out, we're all in lockdown. Building ways to keep in touch with family members. Me and my little girl get into bed every night, and instead of Daddy reading her bedtime story, we then FaceTime Nana or Grandad and get him to read her a story. The impact it has on us seeing Nana is unbelievable. However, the best feeling I get from it is knowing how much my mum is getting from that moment. My mum, seeing that she's read a story to Frankie, who's then fallen off to sleep, that's it. It's brilliant. The look on her face, you know exactly how she's feeling, and then that makes you feel good because you've given the opportunity. And really, that hasn't impacted on our day at all. It's just part of our routine of going to bed. It's important as well during this lockdown period that when you have days off, you keep this same approach going, that you keep your routines in place. Now, I'm not saying do it every time. We all have the odd pajama day, and it's great for it, and we all feel buzzing for it. But don't let that be a habit, doing it all the time. Have your routines. Within this pack, there's a schedule, an example of a schedule of a day, waking up at 9 o'clock, doing some tasks with the children if you've got children, cleaning the house, having dinner, having time to exercise. The purpose that gives you for your day is unbelievable, and it prevents some of the other things happening, the other negative things that are happening that I've discussed earlier about the scrolling and the getting consumed in fake news. So again, have a think about these routines, see how you can apply them to your life, and see if they're going to help tackle the world of work at the minute.